The Ford versus Ferrari rivalry is one of the most captivating sagas in automotive history, a tale of ambition, engineering brilliance, and unrelenting competition that unfolded in the 1960s. This clash between an American industrial giant and an Italian artisanal legend transcended the racetrack, becoming a cultural milestone that resonated far beyond motorsport. The rivalry's pinnacle, the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans, showcased a battle of wills, technology, and human spirit, later immortalized in the 2019 film Ford v Ferrari, Le Mans 66 in some regions. This narrative delves deeply into the origins, defining moments, technological innovations, personal dramas, and lasting legacy of this epic confrontation, exploring how it shaped the automotive world and captured the imagination of generations. The story begins in the early 1960s, a period of rapid transformation in the automotive industry. Ford Motor Company, founded by Henry Ford, had revolutionized manufacturing with the assembly line, making cars accessible to the masses. Models like the Ford Falcon were practical and affordable, but the company's image lacked the glamour associated with high-performance vehicles. Seeking to elevate its global reputation, Ford turned to motorsport, an arena where prestige and innovation converged. In contrast, Ferrari, established by Enzo Ferrari in 1929, was the epitome of exclusivity. The Italian marque was renowned for its handcrafted cars, blending aesthetic elegance with racing dominance. Ferrari's victories at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the 1950s and early 1960s, powered by cars like the 250 Testarossa and 250 GTO, solidified its status as a motorsport titan. The rivalry's genesis was a failed business deal in 1963. Ford, sensing an opportunity to bolster its racing credentials, initiated negotiations to acquire Ferrari, which was facing financial strain despite its track success. Henry Ford II, the company's chairman, envisioned a merger that would marry Ford's manufacturing might with Ferrari's racing expertise, creating a global powerhouse. The talks progressed, with Ford offering a substantial sum to take control. However, Enzo Ferrari, a fiercely independent figure whose life was defined by his passion for racing, recoiled at the idea of ceding control over his racing division. At the last moment, he abruptly ended the negotiations, reportedly insulted by Ford's terms. This rejection was a personal affront to Henry Ford II, who vowed to defeat Ferrari at Le Mans, the world's most prestigious endurance race. This vendetta transformed a corporate ambition into a personal crusade. Henry Ford II declared that Ford would build a car to dethrone Ferrari, a daunting challenge given Ford's limited racing experience. Ferrari's cars were engineering marvels, driven by elite drivers like John Surtees and Phil Hill, and Le Mans was their domain. To achieve this audacious goal, Ford assembled a formidable team, led by Carroll Shelby, a charismatic Texan who had transitioned from racing to car design. Shelby's Shelby Cobra had already proven his ability to blend American power with agile performance. Alongside him was Ken Miles, a British-born driver and engineer whose technical insight and fearless driving style made him a linchpin of the project. Together, they embarked on creating the Ford GT40, a car designed to challenge Ferrari's supremacy. The development of the GT40 was a monumental undertaking. Named for its 40-inch height, the car was a bold departure from Ford's consumer vehicles, featuring a sleek design and a powerful V8 engine. Ford collaborated with British engineers at Lola Cars, leveraging American resources and European expertise. However, the GT40's debut at the 1964 Sierra Le Mans was a humbling failure. All three Ford entries suffered mechanical breakdowns, while Ferrari's 275 LM claimed victory. The defeat exposed the gap between Ford's ambition and the realities of endurance racing, but it also galvanized the team. Shelby and Miles, undeterred, spent countless hours refining the GT40, addressing issues in aerodynamics, suspension, and engine reliability. Ken Miles' role was particularly critical. His dual expertise as a driver and engineer allowed him to provide precise feedback, pushing the GT40 to its limits during testing. He identified weaknesses that others overlooked, from brake fade to aerodynamic drag, and his relentless pursuit of perfection transformed the car. By 1965, the GT40 was significantly improved, but Ferrari remained formidable, fielding the advanced 330 P3. At the 1965 Sierra Le Mans, Ford showed progress, with one GT40 finishing third, but Ferrari still took the top spot. The stage was set for a historic showdown in 1966. The 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans is the rivalry's defining moment, a race that encapsulated the stakes of Ford's challenge. Ford entered multiple GT40s, with Ken Miles and Denny Hulme leading one of the top teams. Ferrari countered with the 330 P3, a refined machine driven by skilled drivers like Lorenzo Bandini. The race was a grueling test of endurance, with cars pushed to their mechanical limits and drivers battling exhaustion. Ford's GT40S, now optimized for both speed and reliability, proved relentless. In a stunning upset, Ford achieved a 1-2-3 finish, with Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon taking first place. Ken Miles, who had driven with extraordinary skill, was controversially instructed to slow down in the final laps to allow the other Ford cars to catch up for a staged photo finish, a decision that cost him a personal victory but secured Ford's triumph. This victory was a seismic shift in motorsport. It ended Ferrari's dominance at Le Mans and proved that an American manufacturer could rival Europe's elite. Ford's investment, millions of dollars and countless hours, had paid off, but the victory came at a personal cost. Ken Miles, whose contributions were pivotal, felt the sting of being denied the winner's spotlight. Tragically, he died later that year in a testing accident, a loss that underscored the human toll of the racing world. Ford, however, continued its dominance, winning Le Mans in 1967, 1968, and 1969 with the GT40, cementing its legacy. Ferrari, meanwhile, faced a turning point. The loss at Le Mans was a blow to Enzo Ferrari's pride, and the financial demands of racing strained the company. He shifted focus to Formula One, where Ferrari would achieve renewed success in the 1970s. The rivalry had pushed both companies to innovate, with Ford's GT40 and Ferrari's P-Series cars setting new benchmarks in performance and design. The GT40's V8 power and aerodynamic efficiency influenced future supercars, while Ferrari's commitment to craftsmanship remained a hallmark of its brand. The Ford v Ferrari film, released in 2019, brought this story to a global audience with cinematic flair. Directed by James Mangold, the movie stars Matt Damon as Carroll Shelby and Christian Bale as Ken Miles. It captures the intensity of the 1966 Sierra Leone Mans race, while delving into the personal and professional struggles of its protagonists. Shelby is portrayed as a savvy leader navigating Ford's corporate bureaucracy, while Miles is depicted as a volatile genius whose passion for racing often clashed with corporate agendas. The film takes liberties with historical details, particularly the 1966 race's controversial finish, but remains true to the rivalry's emotional core. The movie also underscores the cultural contrasts between Ford and Ferrari. Ford is shown as a bureaucratic giant, driven by profit and prestige, while Ferrari is portrayed as an artisanal operation, fueled by Enzo Ferrari's singular vision. These differences add depth to the narrative, making it a story about loyalty, sacrifice, and the pursuit of excellence. Christian Bale's portrayal of Ken Miles is particularly compelling, capturing the driver's intensity and his frustration with being undervalued. Matt Damon's Shelby balances charm with pragmatism, holding the team together under pressure. The rivalry's impact extends far beyond the racetrack. For Ford, the GT40 program was a triumph of ambition and teamwork, proving that an American company could challenge Europe's racing aristocracy. The GT40 became an icon, its design inspiring modern supercars like the Ford GT, introduced in 2005 and revived in 2016. For Ferrari, the Le Mans losses were a setback, but they did not diminish the company's mystique. Enzo Ferrari's commitment to performance and artistry continued to define the brand, which remains a symbol of automotive excellence. The Ford-Ferrari rivalry reshaped motorsport, demonstrating that innovation could overcome entrenched dominance. It inspired a generation of engineers and drivers, showing that boundaries could be broken through determination and ingenuity. The Ford v Ferrari film, with its critical acclaim and Academy Award nominations, introduced this story to a new audience, highlighting its timeless appeal. The movie's success lies in its ability to humanize the rivalry, focusing on the people behind the machines. Culturally, the rivalry resonates as a tale of underdogs challenging giants. Ford's quest was about proving a point, while Ferrari's defiance was a stand for artistic integrity. Both sides pushed the limits of engineering, creating cars that remain benchmarks of performance. The GT40 and Ferrari's 250 GTO are now collector's items, fetching millions at auctions and celebrated in museums. Their designs continue to influence modern vehicles, from the aerodynamics of supercars to the powertrains of high-performance models. The rivalry also reflects a bygone era of racing, when human skill and mechanical reliability were paramount. Unlike today's computer-driven Formula One cars, the GT40 and Ferrari's P-Series relied on driver instinct and engineering grit. This rawness is part of what makes the story so compelling, as it captures a time when racing was as much about passion as it was about technology. The Ford v Ferrari film serves as a tribute to the individuals who made the rivalry possible. Carroll Shelby's vision, Ken Miles' talent, and the countless engineers who toiled behind the scenes are celebrated in a way that resonates with audiences. The movie also highlights the sacrifices involved, from Miles' tragic death to the personal toll on Shelby as he navigated corporate demands. Beyond the racetrack and the cinema, the Ford-Ferrari rivalry has inspired books, documentaries, and endless discussions among car enthusiasts. It's a story of human ambition, where corporate might and individual genius collided to create something extraordinary. The 1966 Sierra, Leone and Leone's man's victory, was a milestone, not just for Ford but for motorsport as a whole, proving that determination could overcome even the most formidable opponents. Today, the legacy of Ford versus Ferrari endures in the cars, the stories, and the spirit of competition. The GT40 and Ferrari's classic models remain symbols of an era when racing was a test of human and machine. The rivalry's cultural impact is evident in its ability to inspire, from car designers dreaming of the next great supercar to filmmakers crafting stories of triumph and sacrifice. In reflecting on this saga, we see a microcosm of human striving. Ford's quest to defeat Ferrari was about more than winning races. It was about redefining what was possible. Enzo Ferrari's refusal to compromise was a stand for his vision of racing as art. Both sides left an indelible mark on history, creating a legacy that continues to captivate and inspire. The Ford versus Ferrari rivalry is a testament to the power of competition to drive progress. It's a story of bold dreams, relentless effort, and the enduring human spirit. Whether experienced through the roar of engines at Le Mans or the drama of the big screen, this rivalry remains a timeless tale of ambition and achievement, a narrative that will continue to resonate for generations to come.